जय गुरुजी संगत जी। डिवाइन लव फॉर गुरुजी चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कीजिए एंड बेल आइकन को प्रेस कीजिए ताकि आपको लेटेस्ट सत्संग की वीडियोस के अपडेट्स आपको मिल सके। एंड प्लीज वीडियोस को भी लाइक कीजिए। जय गुरुजी।
My koti pranam to all the sangat listening to this, and with bowed head and loads of respect in my eyes and heart, I welcome Auntie Sabina Kochhar auntie. Anyone who's a devotee of Guruji would resonate with this name, Sabina Kochhar auntie. I think over the years, our faith has deepened and taken its new shape, and we have found so many answers to our questions, petty-minded questions from satsangs shared by Sabina Kochhar auntie and different old sangat like her. I have always maintained respecting Guruji's belief in Guruji, and I totally abide by it, that no sangat is new or old. But still, I take this liberty, sorry Guruji, forgive me, that Guruji, आप partial तो थे old संगत के साथ, तभी आप उनको मिले, हमें मिले नहीं. So our old संगत is very, very special in those terms. They are those elder brothers and sisters जिनसे हमें हमारे Almighty Father, जैसे एक बच्चे ने अपने पिता को नहीं देखा हो, so from whom would she or he ask कि हमारे पापा कैसे लगते थे, हमारे फादर को क्या अच्छा लगता था, उनको क्या पसंद था, क्या उनको नहीं पसंद था. ये सब जवाब तो हमें अपने बड़े भाई बहनों से ही मिल सकता है जिन्होंने टाइम बिताया हो हमारे फादर के साथ. सो ओल्ड संगत वही वाले हमारे बड़े भाई बहन है, and we are always looking for opportunity to gather calls from them. And Sabina auntie, I welcome you on behalf of everyone. We are very thankful to you for your precious time. And Sabina auntie, I like to mention here that in your voice, I have heard Guruji's vachan. I think 32 vachans and different things that Guruji had talked to you. And it is so enlightening. So every time I personally need an answer and I want to know what Guruji liked and what Guruji didn't, what he approved of. It is so easy to log in to YouTube and put Guruji's Vachan by Sabina auntie. So that is what you mean to us. And with this, over to you, Suresh Vasan uncle, so that you can also welcome Sabina Kochhar auntie, and she can start with her satsang without wasting any of her precious time. Jai Guruji, Shukrana Guruji Maharaj. इस प्लेटफॉर्म का यह नया इनिशिएटिव है. प्लीज ब्लेस अस. कोई गलती हो तो गुरुजी हमें माफ करना, अपने बच्चों को माफ करना, कोई अधिकता न्यूनता हो जाए तो गुरुजी क्षमा करना. एंड अनंतम शुक्राना मेरे मालिक. जय गुरुजी, जय गुरुजी. ओवर टू यू सुरेश वासन अंकल. There seems to be some network issue at your end, Suresh Vasan uncle. So on your behalf and on behalf of entire SATSANG, I extend once again a very, very warm welcome to Sabina Kochhar auntie. And Sabina Kochhar auntie, before even starting your satsang, you have taught us one thing. All through while the Shabad was playing, I was looking at the screen. All of us had put our video off, but your video was on, because you are those children of Guruji who've had first-hand learning. And you know that how important it is to be physically, mentally attentive in the satsang. So I would request my fellow sangats to, if possible, kindly switch on your camera in respect of our revered Guruji and in respect of our senior sangat, old sangat, Sabina Kochhar auntie. Over to you, Sabina auntie. So looking forward to hear from you. Jai Guruji.
Jai Guruji Maharaj, all of you gathered here today. I bow at Guruji's lotus feet to start today's satsang. It is indeed an honor to be on this platform. I really want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for these kind words. I really do not think I'm worthy of all that you said, but thank you very much, very much. I go back to the time when we were told that a saint has come to town and this saint is curing people left, right, and center. It was really very unbelievable, because in the modern world, one does not see anybody doing goodness to that extent that they do not expect anything from anyone. And without taking a penny, he was just distributing his blessings. So there were cancer patients, there were heart patients, there were brain tumor patients who got cured, and they all had their story to tell. Now, these are not stories, so as to say, if I may say that, these are people's life's experiences. Our Guru was the one who had ordered us initially by telling us that whoever speaks, the narrator, is also blessed, and whoever hears, the listener, is also blessed. He said, my blessings travel both ways. One does not know, neither the narrator nor the speaker is going to come to know what is happening. But Guruji said that my blessings are flowing multifold, and you just have to narrate all the kalyans, all the blessings that I have given you and share it with others. And he said, the more you share, the more blessings you get. And there is always an occasion. One cannot share without his permission. There is always an occasion where Guruji has given blessings to people and thus they share. This I perceived, and long time back, when my son was just about 7 years of age, I used to go through this problem with him that he would have recurring fever every month, and I would be very, very, hassled due to that, because the little one would just be delirious at times, and it was not very pleasant for us. We had to give him cool compression. Doctors obviously were not available in the middle of the night, but yes, they were very kind. They had always told us what to do when such an event happened. And he was resistant to all antibiotics except one. That is why I used to face more of a problem. After my daughter was born, I used to get excruciating pain from hip to toe. And at times when I would walk, it was very discomforting. I had taken all sorts of medicines and all sorts of, I had even gone to Ayurvedic doctors and taken medicine from there, but to no avail. And I had that at the back of my mind. I wish that I could also have relief from this pain, because I had had a lot of injections regarding the same, but to no avail. So we happened to go to Guruji then. Initially, my family members went, and my brother-in-law was often told, get your brother and your sister-in-law. But every time we would just think that maybe, it's not okay, maybe, because one was very, very skeptical in those days. We had never heard about anything like this. So there was a kind of a fear also, I would say. And finally, when we did go, he took us to a place where there were a lot of people sitting on the floor, even though it was somebody's drawing dining. And I was wondering, how am I going to sit here now? Because my legs were pain. So he went to a room, he shut himself there, and people were left standing outside. After some time, he came out, he came straight to me, and he just motioned me to stand up. I then realized that I must have got tired and I was sitting on the floor. And he said, tell me. I said, my son. He said, forget about your son. You tell me about yourself. What is the discomfort that you face? So I said, my legs pain a lot. He said, you were sitting here for such a long time. Did they pain? I then realized I was sitting on the floor without any pain. So he said, from today onwards, they never will. The pain will never come back. And it hasn't. It's nearly 25 years plus. It hasn't. Then he told me, tell me about your son. I said, well, his throat is bad. I didn't say anything else. I didn't give any details. He said, well, make him wear a gold om. And I was just thinking, gold chain. So he read my mind and he says, put it around his neck in a yellow thread. So he smiled and I smiled back, because I just felt that he can read minds. and a whiff came from him. That was the fragrance which Guruji emitted. I was told much later by Guruji that this was another form of his blessings, and he would give it to those whom he chose. He said two people would be sitting together, one would get it, the other one would be totally oblivious to it. So it was up to him who he gave it to. And it's indescribable. It was heaven. It was just heaven. It wasn't roses, it wasn't perfumes, it was something totally beyond any sweet smell that anybody could have got. So that was a way that he gave his blessings in. He gave me many more blessings at that time. He said, "You have a school of your own." I said, "No, you are mistaken. My mother is the one who has the school. I don't do anything. I'm not running anything." So he says, "No, you do have. I have seen it. And a guru's word is the ultimate. And you will see later when it operates." Well, true to his word, my school has already run as a preschool for the past 20 years. And whatever guidelines he gave me for the future, I'm on that. So yes, everything he said did come true. He was not a fortune teller. He was not just a person who would cure others. What I saw, without any kind of apparitions or any kind of supernatural things, I saw God. I felt God. I saw God. And I can only say this because initially one did not understand how pristine he was, he is. But after that, when he started unfolding himself, it became very clear. It became very, very clear. And at times, if he wanted to fool people, he would do it very easily. He would just say, "Go and get that relative of yours." And he would tell us details about that relative. And he would tell us all possible things which were secrets. And then when that relative would come, he would pretend as if he doesn't know anything about that person. So those were his ways of doing things. And we never questioned it. One didn't need to question anything because his blessings were enough. And today, I think no amount of thanksgiving is enough to say thank you to Guruji for everything in our lives. Everything. I'm not talking about monetary gains. He said that you need that much which you need to survive. Beyond that is not really essential. Good for those people who have in abundance. Very good for them. Very good. We wish you well. For those who are struggling, the Guru is there. He's watching. He's blessing and taking all of us forward. Guruji never gave any kind of sermons. There were different times in my life when I was called with my family, and that consisted of my husband and my 2 children. Wherever Guruji was, initially he was in Jalandhar. After that, he shifted to Panchkule, and then he shifted to Chandigarh in India. So wherever he went, we were told to come at a certain time with our children. And it was in those times that we were told different things. When I say that these are my conversations with Guruji, actually these are Guruji's conversations with me or with my family, because we never dared to open our mouths and ask him anything. Whatever he told on his own accord. The few vachans which have been selected and put into a PDF are those vachans which are unanimous, or those which can be shared. So those are the vachans where one has just maybe, somebody, some Sangat member, maybe ages back, must have numbered them for convenience sake. And people started calling them 108 vachans or 105. No, there is no such thing as a numbering. These were instances where he spoke, where he taught, where he told something, where he gave guidelines for life. And we have followed, we have tried to follow. And those have really stood us in good stead, because what a guru chooses for us is better than anything you can put your mind to. Because when he chooses, he will choose the best. When he shows a path, it would be the best according to him. No matter how difficult it is, even if you have to be squeezed like a lemon, like he used to say, it's worth it. Whatever he has said, and whatever he has said that I'm saying this generally, then it falls upon all ears, and it's for everybody now. It is up to you to choose. We were fortunate that Guruji, by word of mouth, taught us a few things, told us a few things, and those I can share with you today. And going back to the kalyans that he did, the blessings that he gave, my father was found to be having lymphoma, which is cancer of the lymph glands, years back. And the hospitals also did not give us much hope. They said 3 months, another place said 6 months. We came to know that Guruji has come, but he's in hiding. I'm talking about that time when no mandirs were made. The Bada Mandir was not established, neither was the Dubli Mandir, and nor did he proclaim Empire Estate as Chota Mandir back then. It was only later that these came about, and Guruji fondly called Empire Estate, Auntie's house, as Chota Mandir. We have such fond memories, all of us, of that place too. So going back, we came to know that Guruji has come, but he gave permission if you had to enter. Well, he was very kind. He gave us permission, both husband and I. We entered and we sat down in front of Guruji. There was no sabha. And we could have spoken, because in those times, Guruji would listen by word of mouth. It was only later that he had passed around a message saying, whoever's sitting, wherever they are, please sit down there and talk to me via telepathy. I listen to everybody. So we could not say anything to Guruji. We came out of there thinking, what have we come to tell a person of his stature? We cannot say anything. He knows everything. A few days passed. He called us and he took us to somebody's house. And over there he told me, I have cured your father's cancer without my even having to say the word. In the hospital, the reports started changing. They started becoming negative, and we were very surprised. So were the doctors. We changed the hospital. We took him to another place where his memory failed. We went back to Guruji, and Guruji said, immerse black gram in water. 2 days passed, nothing happened. We asked the person who had gone to do that, and well, the packet just fell into the water without the gram coming into contact with the water. It was done again. My father lives to this day without a trace of cancer in his body, without any memory failure. His memory is very, very sharp. He can leave his children behind. So those are the ways in which Guruji has shown us his blessings. We are very grateful. We cannot even start to thank him. we don't know where to begin, because even a lifetime would not be enough. My mother, because she was a staunch believer and is of Shirdi Sai, our whole family believes in Shirdi Sai. Guruji has shown us much earlier on that he is from the eternal light, and the eternal light shines on the entire universe and mankind as one light. So whether it is Shirdi Sai or any deity, Guruji said it is one. He told me, he said, you can go and stand in front of any deity that you believe in. You can go and stand in any religion that you believe in, and God will be there as one, because God is one. It is humans who have given it different names, different religions, but God is one. And my mother came to understand that much later, but she did understand that. Guruji just told me, I have saved your mother. And my mother said, what is wrong with me? I'm perfectly all right. So he said, what is she to do? Just bring her here to me. So I told my mother, I said, you are being summoned by Guruji. I think you should go, because he has to bless you. He can bless you sitting at home, yes, but if he's calling you, you must go. She went. She had her tea prasad. She had her langar prasad. And after that, she came away. And a few days later, she was holding a report, suspected tuberculosis of the small intestine and rectum colon cancer. My mother was already diabetic. My mother also had very high blood pressure. She was a very obese woman. She has thinned down now. And Guruji blessed her in such a manner that when we took her for the endoscopy and the colonoscopy, every pipe up and down was clear. Even the doctor was baffled. He said, I don't know how, because a week back when she came, the situation was serious. It seems quite clear now. And the blessings were from Guruji. When she went to thank him, he said, go get your diabetes checked. When she got it checked, it came in the normal limit. One day it rose up to 140, and she got a little scared. She said, maybe it's coming back again. Please go and tell him. I said, no, I will not go and tell him, because Guruji has instructed that there is no proxy system over here. Nobody can be another person's proxy. He said, make a direct connection with me. For each and every individual wanting to connect with him, already connected with him, and wanting to seek his blessings, the direct connection is what he has said to do. I was taken to the Vada Mandir one day, and I was told over there also, everybody should make a direct connection with me. When you bring somebody to me, I bless you first. But then after that, the person who has heard about me, that person, mine should be a direct connection. So ultimately, if any of us has to receive blessings from Guruji, we have to have a direct connection with him. It is, of course, we get our blessings by the satsangs that we hear, and the gurbani that we hear, the shabads that we hear, and any kind of music which takes you towards God. But when you talk mentally to your Guru, you connect in such a manner that no other human being is needed. Even family members are not needed when you are directly communicating with Guruji Maharaj. They have their own connection. You have your own. And everybody has to connect directly. That is what Guruji had told me. Another thing he had said, whenever another person wants to discuss their woes with you, do not listen. Direct them to me. So everybody should direct anybody in trouble to Guruji. He said, your blessings, the share of your blessings goes to that person if you're continuously listening. So there is no need to listen. You only have to guide that Guruji knows everything, Guruji is doing everything, and go to Guruji. He will tell you. In fact, there is no need to share anything which you have as a prayer in your heart with any other human being. Humans cannot help. Guruji can, and he will. And that is the way he wanted it. So even if we are going somewhere to a satsang or to a mandir, have your direct connection with your Guru. Do not share your woes or your grievances or anything with anybody. Connect with him directly as he wanted it. So my mother is also cured and she is quite hale and hearty, going back to that time when her diabetic level rose to 140. I refused to carry the message for her, but as soon as I walked in, Guruji called me and he says, the woman who is above 40, and if the woman is as fat as your mother, if 140 is her diabetic level, it is counted as a normal count. Please tell her I have cured her. And she just has to take her medicine on time, and she's absolutely going to be hale and hearty. So tell her not to worry. I need not have said anything to him. He knew everything. There was a time when I saw that there were many people going up to Guruji and talking to him and, telling him everything, whatever their heart so desired. And it was such a nice thing to see. And one day I also felt that can't I just go up to him and maybe say something? So he was very informally standing next to a sideboard in Empire Estate. And there were many people going up to him and saying things. And Guruji was very laughingly answering them. So I thought, okay, this is my chance, my turn. Let me just go forward and, do the needful. The moment I put my first step forward, he just looks at me and he says, you don't even have to say it over here. I know. And whatever I was wanting him to do, it was already done. Everything just sorted out. Those are the kind of blessings that he gives to everybody. Like Auntie has just said, there is no old Sangat, there is no new Sangat. We are fortunate, yes, that we saw him in the physical form. And you are so, so fortunate that you understood about him much earlier on in the spirit form. So it works both ways. I think this is the way Guruji had wanted it. Because it is so nice to see people who have not seen him in the physical form connect so quickly. We were skeptical, you people are not. And it's such a grace. It is such a blessing that he has given you, that you understand and you accept his blessings so easily. Because if you have ifs and buts, like Guruji said, if you have ifs and buts in your mind, you are stalling those blessings which are coming your way. You are making it tougher for Guruji to give those blessings freely. Because he has so much to give. He's always at the giving end. We are at the receiving end. About family life, like I just stated earlier, he said, you must have enough to eat, enough to survive. Beyond that, yes, he said you can enjoy all the materialism that you want, provided you go about it in a straight manner. I was called one day and I was told that if I tell you what is wrong with you, you will not be able to bear it and the very earth will shake underneath your feet. And I begged him not to tell me. I had seen so much around me that he had cured people of diseases where the doctors had given up. And I just told Guruji, I said, please do not tell me, Guruji, just cure me. I know you can do everything. He said, I will tell you after 5 years. I said, please do not tell me after 5 years. And then I was told that he is in the physical form, even though he's from the eternal light. There are restrictions for him to work to give his blessings. So he said, there are some things I can do when I keep you away, when I keep you afar. And I was told, no darshans. I was not to see him. I was not to meet him. I was not to call him. And I could not even write a letter to him. Because he said, you do not write letters to a guru. You write letters to that person who you consider far away. And if you write letters to a guru, you are making him go away from you because you are considering that he's far away. So you connect mentally. You do not need to write a letter to a guru. And I was told all these things, and I was to stay away for 5 years. And to top it all, I was not allowed to tell my children. Of course, they could not have, taken this news. And my family members do, except my husband. I was not to tell anybody why we are not going. We are just not going. And he said, I will call you after 5 years are over. And after 5 years were over, I begged him in my mind. I said, Guruji, I really want to see you. Whether you call me now or whether you send me a photograph, I'm not going to ask people for photographs. Please, could you just send me one? And I am talking about those times where photographs were not easily available. Guruji was the one who would give those photographs as a blessing to people, and they were not easily available. You could not buy them from a shop. You could not get them from anywhere unless he chose to. So I was just back from work one day and I could not breathe in, breathe out correctly. I was in fact asphyxiated. I was very, very much in agony. Just remembering that time also is not such a good idea. Just a few days back, the only magazine which my husband took was carrying a photograph of Guruji's, which Guruji told me later. You asked, I gave. And I quietly took out that page from that book and I put it in my bedside. When I just was feeling so uncomfortable, all I could do was just pick up the phone and just say to my husband, can't breathe, and to my mother, can't breathe. My mother-in-law was no more. My father-in-law couldn't climb the stairs. I was just alone in that room. People in the house were trying to help me. My son ran for an oxygen cylinder, my daughter to the neighbors. All this I came to know later. And I just took that photograph of Guruji's and I said, Guruji, I cannot breathe. And I got a strange sensation at the back of my neck. And then I felt as if somebody has literally given me breath. Then I was at ease. But I still couldn't stand up. My legs gave way. I was carried on a chair downstairs to the hospital. After some time, I came to and I saw that there is a mask on my nose, an oxygen mask, and I just asked the nurse, where am I? And she said, ICCU, and I was wondering, what am I doing here? And then I just thought to myself that when my end came near, my husband, my parents, my children did not come in handy. My Guru did. He had told me years back that when the end comes, family members are human beings. They will not be able to help you. And he also told me, if one is far away from me, anyone choosing to connect with me only has to connect with my photo, because the photo is I. So that is Guruji himself. The photograph is Guruji himself, like he said. I was standing in a line in front of Guruji, and he was distributing prasad one by one. He looks at me and he says, "Well then, husband did not come in handy, parents did not come in handy, children did not come in handy, the Guru did. Here, take your second life. Go enjoy yourself." The breath that I take today is thanks to Guruji. I thank you again and again, Guruji. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for giving me hope to carry on. The beautiful gift that he had given me of a school tided me over coronavirus. I was not scared in the pandemic. I was not scared because I knew that he has etched out a work in the future. He has blessed me with something. So I have to be alive to receive it. And that hope kept me going. That hope kept the whole family going. I fall short of words to thank Guruji. I do not know how to thank him. There are many ways. There are many, many ways, like Guruji had taught. He had said, you just have to follow your daily chores, look after your family, look after your husband, look after your children. Because if you do that with dedication, that is a blessing in itself, and that is the work that you're doing for God. I was told that. He also stated one day that if you're doing something which is benefiting another and it's really not hurting you, then how does it make a difference? Just go ahead and do it. Let the other person take that benefit. Doesn't make any difference. He was very generous. He was very, very compassionate. He was very kind-hearted. I have yet to see a guru who takes care even of the helper stuff. He used to say that when there is a party in your house, take out for the helper much before. Do not give them leftovers. Give them their due. He had very simple teachings. One day we were going with him in the car, and the car came to a standstill at a red light at a traffic junction, and there was a beggar. So before one could say or do anything, Guruji said, if you do not want to give the beggar anything, never shun away beggars. Just fold your hands. Don't say anything. You never know who might come in which form. But he never encouraged beggary. He was totally against it. Well, the blessings are multifold. I could go on. And one day my husband just mentioned to him that my knees would, they had started troubling, they were paining in such a manner that when I would stand, it would take me a few seconds before I could walk the first step. And then on, I had to walk a little slowly before I could, come to the same gate. So Guruji said, really? What has happened? So he just said that, Guruji, her knees are paining. They're giving her trouble. He said, okay, go get her a vegetable burger to eat. So the vegetable burger came. I ate it at Guruji's behest, and after that, he asked me to stand up. I stood up. He said, walk down these 4 steps. And then he said, walk up these 4 steps. And he said, now they're fine. And they really are. It's been years. This was in 2007, beginning of 2007. Nothing has happened to the knees. I don't need any medication because there is no pain, thanks to Guruji. He has cured. And another interesting thing I wanted to just share, when we were new, he called my husband Sahab. He said, Sahab tera pakka hai, tu hali kachi hai. Your husband is my devotee. You are still doing ifs and buts, contemplating, engaging me. So I just kept quiet because, yes, I was gauging him initially. I was a little skeptical. And he just said, when you come to me, put your intelligence outside the door. When you take off your shoes, please put your intelligence out there. It is of no use in front of me. There's nothing scientific going on here. I only give my blessings over here. Much later, then he told me. He said, now you're my devotee. I'm very, very blessed, Guruji. Thank you. Thank you for accepting us in your fold. Guruji was never propagating a religion. This is not a philosophy of life either. These are simply his blessings. Here is a guru who is simply giving blessings. You just have to be there at the taking end, at the receiving end. There is no ritual to be followed. There is no particular guideline except, of course, discipline in the mandir when you go there. Yes, that discipline has to be followed. And the way Guruji serves langar, that has to be followed. Very simple langar. And that is the blessing that we receive. Yes, those kind of disciplines are there, which one has to follow. But besides that, each one is free to do as you please, meaning you want to pray in a certain way, you want to remember God in a certain way, please do so. The main focus which Guruji always was emphasizing is pray. Thank God. Pray. He once told me, he said, animals come in handy. They come in handy even if they die. Even after their death, shoes are made, belts are made, handbags are made. You can even eat them, but you cannot eat a human being. A human being dead is no use. So the only thing a human being can do is thank God, pray to God. That is the only thing a human being can do. That is what Guruji had emphasized. And there were small instances when he would just, he would just go somewhere, he would be blessing without people knowing. At that particular instance, he had said, a guru is then a guru when he is doing kalyans, giving blessings to people without letting them know. What guru is that who tells and then does? So many blessings I gave, which people don't even come to know about, and they are receiving. When people would tell him that so many from the elite community come over here, Guruji, what about the poor? They say that you belong to the rich. So Guruji would laugh and he would say, the poor don't need to come to me. I go to them. I go and bless them first. They are my top priority. They don't have that kind of time that you people have to sit here for 2 hours. They have to work every day. They earn their daily bread every day. And I go to them and I go and bless them. So I take care of them without them even knowing it. Here is a guru who is akin to God. What I saw, I can only share that with you. I perceived because he was kind enough to let me see. And every word that he said, every word carried weight. Every word. Even if he was joking with somebody, everything carried weight. Everything came true. Everything, whatever he had said, even flippantly, came true. And I'm amazed that, there was so much to learn. I'm still at the beginner stage. I have so much to learn from my guru. And I'm sure that he is always with me and he's taking me forward the way he wants me. He's taking me forward on that road where he always wanted me to be. He had said that if you hand over the reins of your life to me, I will take you forward and I will take you exactly where and how I want you to go forward and towards your salvation. So the best thing we can all do is we can all just bow down and surrender to him. This word he had used, surrender to me. Your ifs, your buts, your doubts, your thoughts as to how I do, what I do, surrender. This particular word was used by Guruji Maharaj. Surrender to me. Life is not easy, one day I was told by him. And then again, the solution was also given that prayer can sort out everything. The moment you start praying, you're calling upon Guruji's Shakti. He's always there. Even when you're not praying, he's still there with you. But the moment you are saying your prayer, you are energizing that creator. And that creator is then compelled to listen to you, compelled to come your way, and compelled to sort out your way and clear all the hurdles which are in your way, in your path. One day I was also told, keep your ego in control. And yes, that is an ongoing process with every human being. You have to rein in yourself time and again. Once I was told that if you feel what another person says about you, you would be in that person's control. Learn to be in your own control. So yes, again, it's a daily process. Every day is a new day. And every day one has to do this. Even if one slips, again, you have to revive yourself and go on that path which the Guru had selected. Then one day he also said that if you backtalk somebody or if you are going to condemn somebody, you are giving them blessings from your account. And they would be sitting at home and they would be taking all your blessings and all their negativity would come in your share. So never do that. So one should always refrain from criticizing another person, from condemning another person, because this is what Guruji had said, that the pure blessings which are ours to take would then be theirs, not ours. One day when he had said that he would be coming to our house, we offered him an electric blue dress, a chola. That was kept aside and not worn by Guruji that day. He wore a white one when he came to our house. And later he called us and he told us that that is not a saint's color. And we were not to select that particular electric blue color, which is a shiny, royalish blue, shiny blue, which hits the eye. It's that color. So he said, one must never take that. You also should not wear it. So I said, you meaning Guruji, are you talking about me? Are you talking about my family? He said, whoever listens. For whosoever listens. That's what he said. Jo sun le udapala was in Hindi. Then he went on to say that the positive colors of the universe are red, green, and black. Then he went on to say that all the other colors like orange, pink, green, purple, brown, the shades of blue, the other shades of blue, like a light blue or a sky blue or a navy blue. Navy blue is what I'm wearing today, is navy blue. So all these shades, he said, are good enough. But the emphasis was never on blue. The emphasis was on red, cream, and black. That is what he was trying to say that day. He said these colors generate positivity. These colors, when worn, when used in the environment, generate positivity. And a person who is wearing an electric blue would always be in a state of negativity and confusion. So one should refrain from that color. And we were told to throw those colors, not to give it to a helper and not to, pass it on to somebody else. He said, no, it is going to have an effect on them too if they take it. So do not give it, just throw it, cut it and throw it. We threw out not only clothes, we threw out bed covers and towels and curtains also. There weren't many, but whatever few we had of that particular color. And that particular color, he said, it is never to be worn stark, plain, meaning when it's absolutely plain, the generation of those vibrations, whatever he was trying to imply, are more. When it's absolutely plain, it is hazardous, not good. I had no reason to question my guru. I had no reason to doubt my guru. A guru who can give life can do anything. A guru, when he has cured so many diseases, is coming forward and telling me something that if you do this, you will be saved. Why wouldn't I follow it? Why wouldn't I do it? And since it was generally said, hence it's put in front of you. He had also said, do not wear birthstones. So I immediately prompted, myself to speak up, and I said, Guruji, I don't wear birthstones, neither does my husband, and my children don't either. So he said, I'm speaking in general. And then he also insisted one day that one must not get so taken up by rituals which any pandit would give. Of course, those rituals like a marriage or like a puja to a certain extent are all right, but one must not go overboard with them. So, and one must not go to ask about the future. So I again said, Guruji, we don't go to any pandits. We've never been. We have no intentions of going either. So he said, I'm speaking in general. And again, it was general. Once he just called me and he said, go to America. So I said, Guruji, you are here. Why would I go to America? I'm not interested in going there. What will I do there? So I'm really not going there. So then after a few days passed, he called me again. He said, okay, go to Singapore for a few days. So I was just thinking, I'll leave my children with my mother. I was thinking this. So he says, no, you will take your children with you. Then I just thought, okay, Diwali is round the corner. I will go maybe in December. So again, he says, no, you will not be able to go then. You will go now. And of course, there was a tsunami later. We couldn't have gone in any case. So he knew what he was talking about. And I was asked to go to a Bhakt's house. And I was told to go to Usha Auntie's house. And he said that you have done Sangat with her. Sangat meaning this narration of my Kalyans when she had come to Delhi in the Mandir. Of course, one never asked names at that particular time or now also. So I was not aware as to who Auntie was. I couldn't place her at that time. So I said, Guruji, I don't know who you're talking about. He said, you do. When you see her, you will recognize her. You just go on the plane. And every day he would call me and every day he would ask me, what is the time of your flight? And I would say, Guruji, 12:05. So he would say, okay, what is the time of your flight? Again, the next day, the same question would be repeated. I was called on non-Sangat days also, and I was asked the same question. I knew a Mahapurush does not need to ask. A pristine saint does not need to ask these things from a disciple. He does not need to know these things because he already knows everything. So I knew that he's doing something for me, what I did not have the courage to ask him, and he also did not tell me. So I was put on a plane without an address. I did not know where I'm going, but I simply had to go. So I booked myself in a hotel, and we just, started on this journey. And in the middle of the journey, I was given a phone number. That's all. I was just given Auntie's phone number. And then, of course, when we landed, we saw her and she took us to her place where we started Sangat. Guruji had told me, before you do anything else, you must narrate the Kalyans to her at her place. So we had to do that, and I started with the Kalyans. Auntie stopped me midway, and Auntie said, children would not have had anything. Let us have langar. That heavenly langar I can never forget, because everybody sitting around that table, they had the prasad of Guruji's fragrance. All of us, we could feel he is there. We knew he is there, all of us, even the children. So after that, the narration went on. And then I told Auntie, I said, Auntie, I was having this excruciating pain, which I had not told Guruji about. It was on my sides, and I'm relieved of that. So she said, he must have known, of course. When we went back, Guruji called me, and he just told me, he said, now your hemoglobin and calcium levels are both all right. My DEXA scans were showing a decline in calcium levels, and they were declining very fast. I had had a surgery, and after that, it was declining very, very fast, which was not normal. But then Guruji was the one who just said that it is okay. And the next time I got it done, it was all right. Years had passed when my hemoglobin was falling. And I had told Guruji when I first met him, I said, Guruji, it is 8. He said, no, it is not 8, it is 6. And don't you worry, it'll be 12 soon. After a month, it was 11.6. I had forgotten that I had spoken to him regarding this. He had not forgotten. He was taking care of me all these years. He still is. He's always there, always there. He'll always be there. He hasn't gone anywhere. My children are also very blessed that they are under Guruji's sharan. My daughter was very, very, very young at that time when we were sitting with Guruji in the veranda. And I was wanting to tell him that, Guruji, my daughter has gone through wheezing in her first winter. And I want to pray to you that my child does not go through the agony. I had seen my sister, I had seen my brother-in-law, and I knew what it was like. And I just did not want my child to go through that agony. She was tired and she just lay down in the veranda. And Guruji was sitting next to me. He was sitting cross-legged. He opened one leg and he put it on the child's back. And I knew that my daughter is blessed. After that, my daughter has never, ever wheezed. Never wheezed. So many years have passed. 25 years. It's never wheezed again. He gave a very, very, very nice blessing to my son. He was to become a lawyer. And at that time, my son found the studies a little tough. And he told me, please go and tell Guruji. Maybe he can, suggest something else for me. I'm finding these studies very tough. I advised him against it, that your guru has given something after much thought. So I advise you to just do that. Well, I needn't have really bothered, as to what would happen next, because Guruji called us that very day and he said, bring the children with you. And we were to go somewhere where Guruji was walking, we were walking alongside Guruji, and my son was with me. The three of us, we just entered a lift, and Guruji tells my son in the lift, he says, I'm going to make you a lawyer, later or sooner. He didn't say sooner or later. He said later or sooner. My son is a lawyer now, and we all think that the profession that he has been blessed with is the best Guruji has given. So he's sorted too. Life has to be lived the way Guruji has shown. He had said, only dead fish swim with the tide. So we are not dead. We are alive. We have to keep our conscience alive also. A person who lets their conscience die and you just go adrift with something which is not correct is not correct. Just because 9 out of 10 are going in a direction which is wrong, that direction does not become correct. So what Guruji had stated, those things are eternal. They are the eternal truth for all of us to follow. I'm a teacher by profession. I could just go on and on and on. So I have a lot to thank Guruji for. And I'm very thankful to Uncle for giving this platform. Uncle and the rest of the team, all of you, please, all of you, thank you very much for inviting me today and letting me take my blessings here. Thank you so much. And Guruji bless all of you eternally and forever. Jai Guruji Maharaj.
Thank you so much, Sabina Auntie. I have no words to express my gratitude. One thing, Auntie, the craving for satsang never ends. And one thing we like to know, I think it's your brother-in-law, Arun Kochar uncle.
Hanji, yes.
Gigi, we came across at satsang and he said that Guruji, when he left his physical chola, you were with him. You were one of the very few persons who were there around Guruji when Guruji left his physical chola. So, Auntie, I don't know if do you mind talking about that day?
I'll just tell you what Guruji had said, and he had said to quite a few people. If I may be permitted to talk in Punjabi, may I?
Yes, Auntie, craving to listen Guruji's language.
Words were, ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਨਾਲ ਆਨੇ ਆ, ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਨਾਲ ਜਾਣੇ ਆ. I come with my own will and I go with my own will. So please understand that the Guru is in the spirit form today. He is in the spirit form. He wants you to see him as you see him today. He wants you to see him in that manner, in that light. And you are all very blessed that he has chosen you, because he had said, you think that you come to me? No, I bring you. I call you. And I decide who stays and who goes. These are Guruji's words. He had said those words in Punjabi. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਂਦੇ ਹੋ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਂਦੇ, ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਬੁਲਾਣਾ, ਤੇ ਕੌਣ ਰਹੇਗਾ ਤੇ ਕੌਣ ਜਾਏਗਾ. He used to say, ਕੌਣ ਮੇਰਾ ਪੱਕਾ ਭਗਤ, ਮੇਰਾ ਪਰਮਨੈਂਟ ਭਗਤ, ਤੇ ਕੌਣ ਟੈਂਪਰੇਰੀ, ਉਹ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ. So that's his diary and only he knows about it.
So thank you so much, Auntie. Thank you so much. Snigdha Auntie, over to you. And over to you, Snigdha Auntie.
Thank you, Archie Auntie. Namaste, Guruji. Shukrana Maharaj for your grace on us, for sharing your grace on us in form of this beautiful satsang by Sabina Auntie. Sabina Auntie, thank you with folded hands.
Thank you.
Auntie,
Thank you so much. Please.
for teleporting us back to the time when Empire State would have been, synonymous with God's abode, maybe. Such beautiful takeaways from this satsang, Auntie. Following your Guru's word to the T, come what may. You should, we should know that his words are set in stone. Nothing can change it. So,
Yes.
Auntie, a few days back, I was listening to this Shabad from Shivpreet Singh Ji, which goes like, Kavan Bani Teri Lali, which means the seeker is asking the soul bride, how have you become so beautifully crimson? What color of love made you bloom so red? To which Guru Arjan Dev Ji in Ragasa answers, I can't recall the exact lines, but it meant beauty does not depend on what you do. Beauty depends on what grace does to you. So I think if, surrender, undeterred faith comes from place of surrender, which surrender, I believe, stems from unconditional love. And unconditional love for your Guru can only and only gift you his grace. Thank you, Auntie. Thank you for your kind, thank you for your words and for your satsang, for sharing your journey with us. It has teleported
I'm honored
us.
to be here. I'm honored to be here. Thank you so much.
Auntie. Thank you so much, Auntie. Thank you. Shukrana Malik, Anantam Shukrana.
Namah Shivaya. Shiv